Good evening. It's a Wizards legend right there, man. Chris Whitney, you know him? The Toronto Raptors beat the Washington Wizards 130-122. The last, I don't know, 20 seconds, 17 seconds of the game took about 40 minutes. So thank God that's over. It was a odd game. Raptors go 42-19 in the first quarter. Felt like the Raptors might win this like 200-60 or something. Like this might be a historic, maybe the most famous game of the year. It was like the Wizards had 8 turnovers in 8 minutes. It's just it was a bizarre. Didn't look like the NBA. I don't know how else to describe it. It just didn't look functional. It didn't look like the NBA. But then of course the Raptors do have a bench, and those guys came in and oh my God. Raptors go from scoring 42 points in the first quarter to going on one of the uglier droughts you'll see. When you give the Washington Wizards a 20-2 run, that might be one of the worst moments in franchise history. Just that alone, giving the Wizards a 20-2 run. You don't really need any other context for that. Like, you don't need to know who was on the floor, what happened. I mean, it was the bench. I think this is like the third game in a row where this, and not to blame it on him, he's coming with other guys too, but this Williams character, he seems to come on for a shift. The Raptors seem to go like, 8 minutes without scoring, 6 minutes without scoring, 4 minutes without scoring, and then he doesn't come back into the game. That's happened, I think, like 3 games in a row now. So that's, yeah. He's just somebody who I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but they said that he's like screening the wrong team. Like he's screening Raptors players instead of like he's not. It's just not really with it. Wizards are also blocking everything randomly. Like they just turned into the best like help defense you've ever seen for like a 8-minute period in the second quarter. Really bizarre. And kind of in that period of time, it was point RJ, which got better as the game went on, but point RJ in the second quarter was a experience. A lot of kind of running into traffic, jumping, and then making a decision after that, which usually wasn't gravy. He had a great game though. Him and Quickley, obviously. Quickley keeps flirting with triple doubles and Nav tonight, so that was really beautiful to see. And yeah, his threes really. There's certain players whose threes really like crack or snap or pop. Like Norman Powell's a really good example. Like there's a real crunch to them, and he has that, and I think that comes from wrist snappiness. Like he really gets good wrist position on that shot, and they're just like crisp. And he was letting him fly tonight. What do you have? 30? I think he had 31, and he continues to, really closing the box score was really smart. But I think he had like 31. But yeah, he continues to kind of embrace the number one option role, which won't be obviously his probably long-term fit, but you like the aggressiveness and like the usage rate, or you like the aggressiveness, but not necessarily like when other players come back, he might not take, 15 shots isn't crazy, but yeah, he was super efficient tonight. 9 for 15, 10 for 10 from the free throw line as well. 13 assists, 7 rebounds. Just really solid. He's had I wish I knew the number. Trash clips. How many like almost triple doubles has Quickley had this season? Because he's always just kind of like flirting with it, and it's impressive, and it never feels like he's doing things out of rhythm in these games where he's filling up the stat sheet. It's almost like in a quiet way because he doesn't. There was a couple of possessions. I thought in the fourth quarter he had a couple of possessions where there was a shot clock violation and he did over dribble. But I think for the most part, he doesn't like do a ton of dribbling. Like he's not killing the flow, killing the possessions. It doesn't feel like he has the ball as much as like a Dennis or a Fred, where it's like, okay, you can kind of see the box score is a bit louder. But with him, he just kind of flies under the radar because he's just really quick, no pun intended, like moves the ball really quickly, drives. Like it's just, he gets the ball, boom, goes layup, gets the ball, boom, pull up three. Like there's not a lot of, so it's all, he if you're just like casually like doing chores watching the game, you're just like, oh, there's the guy just fucking ran by that I missed. And I'd say the most baffling part of this game, and I really didn't understand it, and I'm not, so if I'm noticing something on like if I'm noticing a defensive thing that isn't making sense, like you're really bad, because I'm not smart enough to notice stuff like that. But it just felt kind of baffling that like the whole night Quickley was on Danny Avdija, who had 32 points, 8 for 12 from 3, and you had Abaji on Poole, and neither of those seemed to really make sense. Like those were the two guys that kind of, quote unquote, killed you with 32 and 29. And I just think, like, why wouldn't Abaji, who's like larger, go on Avdija, and then Quickley, who's faster, it just seems like but they kind of kept that the whole game, and it just didn't really seem to work. And it was getting to the point where Danny Avdija was getting doubled. I don't know how often that happens. Trash clips, information, fact check requests. How often does Danny Avdija, and yes, you'll hear a dog in a second walking past, but Danny Avdija, how many, like, in terms of getting doubled, where is he? And is he in the top 80 of guys who gets doubled? Because they were sending Kelly over to him because the matchup was just not really working. We got Wayne Gretzky here for the post-game show. I once chased him on foot. He was in the back of a truck. It was during the Olympics. Me and my friends were really drunk, and he was in a truck for the Olympics or something. We were running with our like Mickeys, sprinting down the street. Anyways, Wayne Gretzky. You guys heard of him? Yeah, Wizards getting a lot of blocks in the second quarter. It was partially like good defense on their part, but also the Raptors ball movement really slowed down. I thought they weren't really cutting that much anymore. So speaking of cutting, Grady went out with a groin thing, so hopefully that's not super serious. And then to kind of close the half off, like it looked like the Wizards were going to like take control of the game, and then Olynyk just started eating at the rim, and Gary and Quickley hit back-to-back threes to close the half out. So that really helped. And then the Raptors come out again in second half, same matchups, which I didn't really think were working, but it doesn't really matter because point RJ starts to actually work out. He takes it to the rim more aggressively because he was almost like trying to be a facilitating point guard, and that's when it doesn't work for him. When he's like, my role is to like facilitate first. I think he's best when he looks to score first and facilitate out of that. If there's better options, he can pass out of it. And I thought that he was more aggressive. Like he got a lot of and ones in the third quarter. That was really effective, and quickly hitting pull-up threes. Again, it is like a completely different team, obviously, with them in the lineup. But it's one thing to like know that logically, which is kind of like duh. I mean, if there's no way they would have been a 15-game losing streak, there might not even have been like a 5-game losing streak if they were both in the lineup. So, but it's another thing to actually watch it on television, and you just see the whole team just plays completely different with them. And it's like, if you didn't have them in this game, Washington would have killed the Raptors. Like if this was the Raptors team of 2 weeks ago, like the Wizards would have absolutely eaten in this game. Because I mean, like Avdija had the 32, Poole had 29, Kispert had 21, no Kuzma. So yeah, obviously it's night and day between the team that you saw 2 weeks ago, and that's like I think a pretty like special thing in basketball, just because like one player in basketball can make such a bigger difference than like the Anaheim Angels right now. I think are like have the winning a winning record for the first time in like a decade, and like Shohei Ohtani isn't there. It's like basketball is kind of a special sport where you can just kind of plug one or two guys in, and it really does change like the whole complexion of the team, how it functions. The assists were way down when those guys were out. Obviously, the ball just like wasn't moving, and it's funny because even with RJ, who's not really known as like a a passer, everything just like moves so much better. Like even when he's just driving, it just moves the defense around. They have to cover for him. Then they have to send two sometimes because he's really strong. And then that gives people in the perimeter more space. So then it's easier to make passes. And so much of when RJ and Quickley aren't in the game, and what we saw over the last few months was like guys like Wara, who I just like fallen off the face of the earth. I haven't seen him in a while. McDaniels and stuff, like doing these really predictable guard to guard, guard to wing passes on the perimeter that create no advantages and are just like Malachi passes. Just you just swing it over, swing and cut, swing and whatever. And they aren't like meaningful. There's no space, there's no shot, there's no lanes to drive. And when you got Quickley and Barrett in the game, who are both drivers and both shoot, well, I don't know if Barrett's quote unquote a shooter yet, but they have offensive games that you have to respect. So it just gives everybody else so much more room to breathe. It was really, I made a Grady Dick compilation video a couple days ago. So I watched every Grady Dick 3 this year, and it is just shocking to see like the decline in threes that he had during that period of time when all the guys were out, and you can just see that they just weren't finding him in the like it's completely different for guys like Gary, guys like Grady, and pretty much everybody else on the team who isn't like a shot. I don't even know how you would classify Bruce Brown. Like, is he a shot? Like he does create his own shots, but I don't know if those are like NBA level shots that he's creating. I think he's probably much better in a specialized role like he had in Denver. So he's kind of hard to classify, but he was in this game. Yeah, so RJ, I thought that RJ really picked up the offense in the third quarter, and I think it was like three times in like a minute and a half. He's just getting and ones. Did miss a couple free throws, I believe, though. So yeah, Raptors start sending two to Avdia, and what was really funny about that is like, okay, the defensive assignment didn't really seem to be working on the Raptors end. But then when they sent two to Avdia, the Wizards just could not make decisions out of the double. Like they, instead of like, I don't know, the Wizards are just, kind of a baffling team. There's a really funny moment where Alvin was like, yeah, and the Wizards, they've had some really exciting teams over the years. John Wall and Gilbert Arenas. Then Matt Devlin, without taking a breath, is just like, they've lost 15 of their last they have losing seasons in 15 of their last 17 seasons. And Alvin's like, oh, it's patience. And they kind of moved on to the next topic. But yeah, the Wizards are, I mean, you got Juwan Howard here, a little holographic Juwan Howard. He's like in a mountainscape somewhere in that one. Yeah, Chris Webber once played for the Wizards, and funny enough, it still says Kings forward on the card. Maybe that card's worth something because it's kind of a mistake. I mean, you got Rod Strickland, but the Wizards in general. I mean, so the double comes. I can still see it in my head. It was like on the block, double comes. Avdia, like, instead of being like, oh, a double's coming, this is a chance to create it. There's going to be an advantage somewhere. You can kind of get excited about it. He just throws like a shitty pass to somebody who else throws a shitty pass, and it turns into either a turnover or another shitty pass, and then it's just kind of this cascade of shit like moving downhill at a really fast pace, not creating anything, not doing anything meaningful. And that's kind of what the Wizards were. I mean, 8 turnovers in 8 minutes in the first quarter at one point. They just like there's no plan. There's no like I guess the offense is centered around Jordan Poole. Okay. Relatively healthy too. I mean, Koulibaly was out, but like, I think they had their guys tonight. Kuzma, sorry. I guess so. That is like their star player. Is Kyle Kuzma doesn't fit on this team. Like, this is probably who the Wizards should be. Like, I don't really understand the Kuzma situation in DC. It just kind of seems like he was part of a trade, and it's just like something you have in your fridge. That's a good item. Like, you went to a nice restaurant, you had a nice dinner, you brought some home, you put it in the fridge. It's kind of in the back there. You don't really remember it's there. Honestly, it's kind of like DeMar in San Antonio. You could go months without thinking that, having a thought about Kyle Kuzma being in the District of Columbia. Like, I can't even picture Kuzma like going to the Lincoln Memorial and like vibing or something. I can't picture it with like the big pink sweater. But yeah, point RJ really improved in the third quarter. Again, as I said, when the focus was more like, let's go get an and one, and if there's guys who are open, give it to them, and much more decisive not like one thing that has been really prevalent on the Raptors. McDaniels is like the king of this. It drives me crazy because as a former high school point guard, I was always told never leave your feet until you know what you're doing. And that was one of the few things I was good at in high school. Like, I kind of was like, okay, I have that down. I don't have hops. I don't really jump that much, so that's easy for me. But there's a lot of players, or a lot of plays on the Raptors this year, a lot of turnovers that are just guys going like 1-on-3 or like 1-on-4 even sometimes for whatever reason. Jalen McDaniels did a really bad one against the Wolves where Grady was wide open in the corner. McDaniels drives into three guys, jumps up and throws the ball to Anthony Edwards because like they don't have any plan, and then they jump, and then it's like, okay, then they make a decision. RJ does that once in a while, not enough to be criminal, but enough that you know, kind of, it's something to, I mean, pretty obvious thing to notice in like a film sesh. It's like, oh yeah, don't, it's better to just stop and like it's okay to read the floor for a second. It doesn't have to be run and gun all the time. And then you have Garrett Temple, Q4. But it's hard to remember that when you're in, like when you're playing and you're in that fast pace, it can be difficult sometimes to like know that, yeah, you can, if you're Jalen McDaniels, like you can, you know, stop with the ball and then like look around for a second and be like, oh, there's no one within 35 feet of Grady. I could pass him the ball. He's in the corner and he's the highest, or one of the highest 3-point corner percent shooters, or whatever I'm trying to say. Garrett Temple at center with 4 guards in the fourth quarter. That's a fun one. Didn't really seem to work that well. Wizards go on another 8-0 run. Darko calls the timeout, and the Wizards kind of make it interesting, which is, I mean, I guess you're at the point where tanking doesn't really matter. Like it's pretty I think it's pretty set. I was bullish on Portland doing something with, you know, dominating and Delano maybe going wild a little bit, but that hasn't really seemed to come to fruition. I would look forward. One of my favorite ideas for like an off-season video, because Will put out this very Campbell's like Chunky Soup ad where he was saying that like it's safe to win and everything's locked in now, and like it's, you don't, like tanking doesn't matter anymore. Like you may as well start winning. So like Will Lou, like that'd be such a great Raptor Moments episode. Like Will Lou loses the Raptors pick. And whenever I make those videos, there's always one or two people who think I'm being serious, and then we'll like find his resume and be like, actually, William was blah 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 blah. That's part of my favorite part of doing dumb shit. People don't take. Anyways, so Grady gets a groin contusion, which I don't know what a groin. I guess Trash Clips. Are you a doctor? Do you know what a contusion is? Like, I know it's bad, but I don't know what a contusion is. It's 17-19 for the Clippers right now. Vince Carter's playing. Yeah, and then down the stretch, Raptors had some really ugly possessions, shot clock violation. I mean, the last 2 minutes of this game was disgusting. Like, just ugly basketball on both ends, excessive timeouts, challenges. I know it's all like fucking procedure and you got to do it. Human resources says we have to do this, but it's like, okay, now we got to go look if it was a clear path. It's an 8-point game with like 10 seconds left. Got to go to the monitor, check if it's a clear path, and then we get a little bit of banter about how the different referees treat the monitor in different ways. And it's like, can we please, there needs to be like a mercy rule or something. Like there needs to be a rule where if there's like 10 seconds left in the game or 20 seconds left in the game, it's a certain deficit, you just got to like fast forward things a little bit. But then the refs will find a way to use that to make money gambling, so maybe not. Vegan Grass says McDaniels really thinks he's him. Happy Darko bench him. I don't know, like, what is the Darko McDaniels relationship? Like, I did read that thing on here that someone went to the Darko open practice or something, and I guess it's a source. You know, he's saying that like Wara and McDaniels are kind of just as hopeless in practice as they're on the floor. So it doesn't really seem like, because sometimes, you know, if you're a coach and you have a certain like younger player who makes sex tapes in his in his off hours, and it's maybe a little bit strange to say the least. It's like, oh yeah, he's killing it in practice, but people complaining on Twitter.com, it's like when Masai was like, these trades that people talk about, they're not coming through my phone. Like if Darko would, maybe there's a situation where it's like McDaniels is just dropping 45 in every practice, shooting the lights out from three, and like we have no idea. And when it comes to the game, even though he likes being on camera in some sense, he doesn't like being on national television, like something like that. But that's obviously, not the case, or as the source said, not the case. So yeah, I would be interested to know that, and to kind of add a little bit of sugar to that. He's here next year as well. You got him for 2 years. He doubled up on McDaniels. You got the McDouble, and there's no turning back. He's on the fucking team. You're giving him $9 million to do whatever he's doing in this thing. Yeah, 0 points for McDaniels tonight. The bench the Raptors bench was just brutal. Freeman Liberty 0 points. Williams 0 points. You got 3 guys on your bench with 0 points. That's who played like 14 minutes. Temple gives you 5. Brown gives you 9. Dick gives you 13. I think Grady has like led every bench scoring brigade he's ever been in. 3 for 5 from 3 tonight. Liked what I saw until the injury. The plus minuses in this game were really weird. There must have been some lineups. Like I think the Barrett point guard lineup was a bit odd, because Barrett -4, Quickley plus 22. Very strange how everybody in the starting lineup is like a plus 17 or better, and then Barrett's -4. I think there was some Barrett plus bench. I think they gave the Scotty plus bench to Barrett plus bench, and that was when the Raptors give up a 20-0 run. So if you're on the court for the 20-0 run, RIP to your plus minus. So that might have been what happened. Yabat says it's a bruise. Contusion sounds so much worse than a bruise. Are you kidding me? That's all it is a bruise. Contusion sounds like you're like an elbow contusion sounds like someone like twisted your elbow so far the other way that it like popped out and is like contused or something. Contusion. So it's just a bruise. His groin is bruised. Okay. Trash clips. I swear some teams use contusion as a catch-all term. Yeah, you hear contusion. And is it adductor? I've asked before to people. Is it abductor or adductor? That's the other one that always fucks me up. Tom Duke. Best post game in the NBA today ever. Come on, guys. Don't get sarcastic with me here. I take every compliment as sarcasm. Quickly had a 21-18-9 game in March against the Suns. TZ says Denny is underrated. MSJ, this must be the oddest post-game show in the NBA. Is it? I actually thought I made this more normal. I had a guy smoking a cigar I was going to have, and then, yeah, we had the cat. Could bring the cat in. It's good for your, like, stress level. Oh, that's not the right one. Who's taking the free throw here? Is it McGrady? Tracy McGrady from the free throw line. 55. Oh, I didn't get it. Didn't get it. Tracy McGrady. Little Herb Alpert there for everybody. Trash clips. They should run Oshai in the pick and roll more. Yeah, that was cool early on. That really seemed to be working. I don't know if we got Del Curry. I don't know if they gotta win. They gotta bring these jerseys back, man. What are we doing? As I wear a shitty red jersey, I got this a long time ago. Is my defense. But yeah, that was working really well as the roller, because I can't remember the last time Abaji took a 3. I'm gonna check the box score, and he took like 10 threes tonight. But yeah, I can't remember. Oh, he took 3 threes. Okay, I'm an idiot. When's the last time he made a 3? But yeah, I think that's a better role for him, no pun intended, is like the roller. He's not going to pop really on those pick and rolls, but yeah, as a guy putting pressure on the rim, he kind of has that precious kind of rim pressure. When he gets downhill, it's he can really finish through contact, and yeah, I think that is an effective play to run it. Yeah, I don't know why they went away, because that felt like in the first quarter, that was like one of their main things that they were running, and then they seemed to veer away from that. I don't know if there was some defensive adjustment that's above my head that the Wizards made, but they didn't. I don't remember too many plays down the stretch where they were running that. I think the three has looked a bit janky for him. Yeah, Kelly getting dropped. Yeah, Kelly gets Kelly's a BC boy, so he's in the skate park at the 7-Eleven. He's been around. He's from Kamloops, man. Shouts to the great people of Kamloops. Beautiful. I love a good yellow hill. That's great. Yeah, I think Kelly. Kelly's kind of grew up in BC. He's equipped for it. It's Autism Awareness Day or something, or month. Darko's got the autism shoes on. I like that. My therapist says I'm probably on the spectrum, but she's like, how can we like use this to your advantage? Like, how can we weaponize this to your advantage instead of seeing it as like a stigma or something? Like, how can we turn you into like a sociopath or something? I don't think she believes in like personality disorders either. Like, I think she does, but I think her whole thing is like trauma is at the root of all of this. So if you fix that, then the other pieces fall into place, that kind of thing. TZ says Quickley's got me hyped for next season. Yeah, I we got the free throw line here. I missed that. Yeah, and I wouldn't say that like him and Scotty had like amazing chemistry. I mean, they had a few plays here and there. I thought it was weird the first couple of games they kind of did, and then it seemed to kind of taper off for some reason. But they didn't really play that many games together either. In like not enough to really look at anything meaningful. He's also not signed yet though. So I mean, yes, but and the only reason I even like say that is just because the Raptors front office, by the way, really interesting Michael Grange piece and segment. I don't say that very often, but very interesting Michael Grange article about the ownership changes in the MLSE. You've got LT, Larry Tannenbaum, being bought out, hypothetically, I believe, by like 2026. So he had 2 votes on the board, which had a total of 8. 3 Bell, 3 Rogers, so TSN Sportsnet, and then Larry David. Shouts to Curbs last episode. So Larry David is being bought out, and so that kind of raises questions about how that's going to shake up. And they got this new guy named I think it's Kevin Pelly, who used to manage like the Argonauts or something. I don't know. I thought they were going to bring like Blake Murphy in to do it or something, but they got Kevin Pelly to do that. I don't know what his role is. I don't really, when you get to like upper corporate management, it's like, I'm the president of the, vice president, vice assistant to the assistant regional manager. Like there's a ton of that shit in upper corporate management. So I don't even know what the fuck is going to change or what it's going to look like. But big potentially, I guess, changes coming to the organization. I've kind of tossed out little conspiracy seeds about how a lot of these like weird management front office decisions did seem to really perk up at the Q3, Q4 of 2021 when Ed Rogers took over Rogers. So, I don't know. Just the timelines of the puzzling, and I've said this a bunch of times. For me, it looked like a front office that wasn't united in like decision making, and then the optionality became a PR. That's just my like uninformed, stupid, like galaxy brain, low IQ, someone looking at it from the outside. Something fishy going on where maybe some people who just got a massive injection of power and ego and who openly said that the guy running the show isn't worth his dollar. Maybe he weighed in a little bit more than he did before, and maybe that caused some delays, and maybe that caused some opportunity. Cost some opportunity costs. Maybe that created some opportunity costs. Toronto Raptors just scored a bucket. Who's that? I don't know who that is. That's embarrassing. Almost saw the jersey. Almost got bailed up by the jersey. Trash clips. Who just made that shot? Yeah, pizza party, I guess. What is that? 2 wins in a row? Is the pizza party still on the table, so to speak? Larry Legend. Wait, you see a therapist. Ha 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 ha. Larry David. Yes, I do. I'm very fucked up. If you haven't noticed by the video content on the channel, yes. Vegan Grass. Masai's days with the Raptors are numbered. Sucks, man. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Like, they probably want to. A lot of times when there's management shakeups, they want to bring in their own people, and you combine that with Ed Rogers, saying that. I don't know. Did he say it? Like, what was the context of that? Like, how did that get out? Like, but it definitely was like a thing that he said Masai wasn't worth, and that was like coming off of a championship, and now you've got 3 or 4. Time doesn't really make sense anymore. 3, 4, 5 years. It'll be 5 years, I guess. Like next year is kind of a big evaluation for the front office. I kind of wonder about Bobby, because I don't like. To me as a fan, I've never gotten any, like, maybe I have, I just haven't like absorbed it, but gotten any differentiation on like Bobby and Masai. Like, who does, like, I don't know. It's just Bobby's there. Like, the only thing I know about Bobby is the Athletic article talking about him wanting, like, meeting with the CIA, wanting to be in the CIA. This was during the Iraq War, meeting with Condoleezza Rice, and saying that the reason he wanted to be in the CIA was he loves how they do business abroad. So that's like all I know about Bobby Webster. And I think he's like a barefoot guy. Like, he had a barefoot wedding. A lot of ex-CIA guys become barefoot guys. That's pretty common. So yeah, I don't know what the differentiation is. Like, I know Masai is the senior to Bobby, but I guess does Masai more the overseer and Bobby the more day-to-day? Usually in, call it like a cutback or a reduction, if you're, doing the office space, cutting costs, it's pretty easy to fire one of them and be like, okay, the day-to-day, so you got one guy doing, clouds, one guy doing dirt. The guy doing dirt, now you can do a bit of clouds, bit of dirt. The guy doing clouds, I know I'm saying that's the smartest thing to do, but that's how it usually goes. When one role is like, oh yeah, I just handle like the day-to-day, and the other role is, well, I handle the week-to-week. It's like, okay, well, the guy who handles the week-to-week, can you handle the day-to-day as well? Okay, well, there we go. There we fucking go. So I don't know how that's gonna look. Bobby is a capologist. He's the guy who actually understands the CBA and makes the money work. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know he was a capologist. I think, isn't Bobby Marks, that's like isn't Blake Murphy a capologist? That's what I'm saying. Like, why isn't Blake Murphy getting these opportunities? Trash Clip's pretty sure that bucket was Kevin Willis, number 42. There we go. I'll take your word for it. Kevin Willis. Raptors out in the Raptors out in the half court. I thought they were. Vince Carter's got the ball. Let me get out of the way here. Vince Carter driving, spinning. Vince Carter. No. Didn't get it. Didn't get the RJ Barrett and one, but you're going to be in the Hall of Fame, buddy, so it doesn't really matter. I had a Vince Carter jersey. I had the white. It was this era, but it was the white one. And like, in retrospect, what was I thinking? Or whoever bought it from me, what were they thinking? Because yeah, the purples are a lot better. If they bring these purples back, do you guys want the white ones that went with them? Because the white ones were a bit like, they were just a bit kind of bland. Like the Toronto had like a purple outline, but it didn't. I think you would maybe need to juice the white ones a little, like add a little bit. I really like the I like all the dino stuff, obviously, but if they're gonna go with this era, you probably can't really also do the dino, but you can do that original like claw with the T. That one hits. I think you could throw that on the white jersey somewhere. These are my brilliant ideas. So we got Vince Carter, kind of on the block there, driving. Oh, Vince Carter, rejected by the side of the backboard, North Carolina's own. The Vince Carter Hall of Fame speech will be at the University of North Carolina on the acceptance stage speech, and they're gonna have him in a graduation hat. Sorry, I had to make that joke. Tracy McGrady in a Toronto Raptors uniform. It's a real shame that they couldn't keep the cousins together, but Tracy McGrady wanted to flourish, wanted to be the Jeremy Grant in Detroit, the original Jeremy Grant in Detroit. Wanted to go to Orlando to throw sick bank shots to him, bank passes to himself. Get into dunks. I was a big Kings fan in that era, actually. Speaking of Chris Webber. Badfish says, the dino is obviously iconic, but man, I did not fuck with the 2000s era. Yeah, okay, so the dino's 90s, this is more 2000s. I think it happened right at like the 99-2000 season. I like both of them. I mean, I could see why some people don't like the dino, because it's a very particular look. You know, it's maybe not it's kind of like if you played like Metallica at Walmart. A lot of people would be like, no, I want to hear the Taylor Swift song or something. But some people would be like, man, I'm going to go buy an extra like Beyond Meat burger package because Metallica's playing. what would Metallica song would they play at Walmart? It would be it'd be interesting, man. It's terrible. But I mean, no, if you played like Damage Inc. in Walmart, or even like the thing that should not be, you could probably get away with that at Walmart. You could slip that in between like Taylor Swift and who else plays music at Walmart? It was the other night. It was the I was watching a game. I can't remember what. It was the Bucks? Yeah, it was the Bucks. Yeah, the Raptors played the Bucks, and they had like the stadium DJ, and it's like, okay, like the stadium, you have a DJ. One sec here. You got your stadium. You got your stadium. You got your DJ. Somebody has to play the music in the stadium. So they have this like DJ guy, and they're doing this whole like little feature on like their stadium DJ, and it's like, they got the overhead shots of him on the tables, and he's like, he's got his mixer, he's got like a 4-channel mixer, he's got the 2 turntables going, and then they show like the set list, and it's just like Travis Scott, Kanye West. It's like, wow, this guy is really like digging, man. This guy's really like bought in. Is it Big Sean or something? Like, I'm talking Danger Mouse and Gemini right here. I'm talking Matt Philly. I'm talking Flash Gordon. I just grabbed like a handful of records here with no purpose, but yeah. Let me be the DJ here. We got Rod Strickland. Some shout outs to the Wizards legends. Rod Strickland. We got Chris Webber. We gonna make an hour for this? 39 minutes. Juwan Howard. Chris Whitney. What'd you guys think of Corey Kispert at Gonzaga? Do you guys like Corey Kispert at Gonzaga? What'd you guys think of Corey Kispert at Gonzaga? Huh? What'd you guys think of Corey Until It Sleeps? You could put on Until It Sleeps in Walmart. Like his whole voice just became like, I mean, well, Saint Anger was the real like pinnacle of that. I don't know, like what happened in 1991 to his voice, because it went from like shrieky Like the Kill 'Em All is like really like trebly and shrieky, and it's like until it sleeps. Like it just he became like Saint Anger around my neck. It's like you were like not Iron Maiden high pitched at one point. You weren't Geddy Lee or Supertramp, but like my fuck, what happened? What were we talking about here? Walmart would play Nothing Else Matters and have a sale on Tostitos and salsa. Yeah, that song fucking sucks. If you want to play it on guitar, you tune. There's some weird tuning for Nothing Else Matters, but then it literally you just play the open notes of like all the strings. You just go. Black Album had good songs on it. Of Wolf and Man, The God That Failed, Sad But True. But wow, did it have some fucking... Anyways. Yeah, that's outdated now. But yeah, what do you guys think of Corey Kispert at Gonzaga? I was a big fan. They had Jared Butler on the Wizards. I was a big fan of Jared Butler at Baylor. He was on there with Davion Mitchell and some other guy. I think Teague or something. I don't know if he's in the NBA. Some other guy named like Mark Williams, I think, who kind of looked like Draymond. It was a fun team, the Baylor Bears. Shouts to Waco, Texas, former home of David Koresh, I believe. You think David Koresh would have been a big Pierre Polivuvu? I don't know how to say his name. It's like Polivuvu fan. I think him and David Koresh could like hit the hash together and really have some conversations. Until It Sleeps for the newborn moms. Push the rollback pricing on diapers. I thought you were going to say like push the roller, like push the newborn stroller like into the, like roll it down a hill or something. I don't know. I don't really like kids that much. Kids at Walmart, you know? There's a kid on the seawall screaming and crying. It's just there hanging out, standing on the seawall. Kind of dangerous. I wouldn't want my, if I ever, God forbid, if I ever, made the mistake of, and it's like, I'm sitting there and it's like, would anything really be lost if just a huge gust of wind came and, like a shark or a catfish, got a nice meal or something. Yeah. Until It Sleeps at Walmart. That is probably the one. Nothing Else Matters is like too soft. You get people will start complaining. I think when people are shopping, it's the whole idea. You want them to be upbeat, in a good mood. Until It Sleeps is kind of dark. What's Until It Sleeps even about? Just I don't know. Fire. What is it? Reload, load, and reload. I thought load was better. You guys like load or reload? It's Polyev. Do you think he's a poly, like, sexual? Like, is he getting lots of orgies and stuff? Is that where the name came from? I know he's French, so. But yeah, Wizards. What else we got here? The Washington Wizards. With the 5 games left, time really does fly, doesn't it, folks? 5 games left in the season. Then the draft is June 20th or something. They got to send Bobby to the draft just for the moment in case they don't get the pick when they sent Bobby to the draft last year when the pick was 13, because I think 13 was like not a great pick for them, and Bobby's face was kind of it was a funny moment. So if the Raptors don't get the pick, you at least want it to be as funny as possible. And that probably would be like the funniest scenario. Like you at least want some level of comedy. And yeah, if you're like, man, this season is really brutal. Just know that the Washington Wizards are an NBA team. I mean, there's times during this game where it's like you really have to lock in that the Washington Wizards are an NBA team. I mean, you got Johnny Davis. I don't know what the deal is here. He's in their starting lineup. Johnny Davis, former 9th overall pick, I believe. Look up his jump shot on YouTube.com. It's It's kind of like if Markel Fultz, like instead of the Markel Fultz injury, it's like the Markel Fultz injury happened and then that shoulder got hit by like a truck. Like that's kind of what his shot looks like. He started the game for them, played 6 minutes, 0 points, minus 16 in 6 minutes. Yeah, he was in for the onslaught at the beginning. That's like their big prospect, kind of. But just, yeah, this team doesn't really make a ton of sense. I guess Koulibaly has upside. You got Justin Champagny, you got Raptor legend Justin Champagny, who famously in open gym, for me, his legacy. Well, I did make a Justin Champagny video, but for me, his legacy will always be the video I made about him that he liked on Twitter, by the way. Fun fact. Not to name drop Justin Champagny. I know it's a big celeb. But it was like Jaylen Brown was doing something and he looked away and I can't remember. But that's his legacy. And then an open gym where he was asked about Victoria, BC. They were showing all the beautiful beaches and landscapes of Victoria, British Columbia. The filming site of the David Johnson documentary coming this off season for everybody, hopefully. if I make it. And they asked him, like, what do you think of Victoria, BC? And he's just like, more of a Brooklyn guy. So yeah, that's that and that alone basically will always be his legacy for me. And then he also he posted on Instagram like free me, I think, with like an unlock emoji, which is my second favorite Raptors Instagram posts. I don't use Instagram, but you see it on like Reddit or whatever, where Chris Boucher, what do you say, Instagrammed out that there's human meat in McDonald's burgers with like a head exploding or like a shock emoji. Like those are the two greatest things that have ever been Instagrammed on the gram. I took about a gram of something. Where are my tabs? I got too many tabs open. Revolution says, you say no to Ratchet, Juicy J can't something. That just reminded me that I think 3-6 Mafia was in town for the Marc Gasol jersey retirement, which one of my favorite things to do is to show people old 3-6 Mafia, especially people who are like into rap who don't know it. Wow. Okay, this is the greatest connection I've ever made. This is like more salient than anything I've ever said in my entire life. Anything on this channel. I think I've already like thought of this, but I don't know if I've ever said it on here. I don't know if I've ever had I don't know if it's ever come up. 3-6 Mafia is to rap as Metallica is to metal. So if you showed someone Enter Sandman, Until It Sleeps, Fuel, which might be their worst song they've ever Fuel by Metallica might be the worst song ever made by any genre of music ever. And what's great about that is the first 8 seconds is like the worst part of the song. So you can really get a lot of ROI. But yeah, probably the worst song ever made. So if you showed if that was your view of Metallica, and then you show people like Welcome Home Sanitarium, Damage Inc., Leper Messiah, Fade to Black, Jump in the Fire, The Four Horsemen, No Remorse, Metal Militia, they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Same as 3-6 Mafia. If you just know all the like club songs and just very famous, Slob on My Knob and all that kind of stuff. Stay Fly. Okay. Was a dude named Lord Infamous, who was an original founder of 3-6 Mafia, and you can correlate the downfall exactly to his timeline. So like he went to jail and their music got worse. He came back, it got better, then he died and it got worse. It's like the correlation is, I don't know what the math term is, but you can like really pinpoint it. So if you listen to early 3-6, it's like a completely different it's like a different era. It's like a different Raptor era. It's like the 2019 Raptors. Like it's like if you showed them the Minnesota Timberwolves game where they lost 133 to 85, and then you show them the 2019 Raptors. It's like that's the level of difference I'm talking about here. So if you go back and listen to like Where to Bud At, Playa Haters, I Thought You Knew, those are probably my top 3. Anything by Koopsta on any of those, like Robbers is crazy. Crucifix. Anyways. Somebody mentioned Juicy J, and I just went on a Metallica 3-6 Mafia rant. So, yeah, go listen to I Thought You Knew by 3-6 Mafia, and you can be like, oh, this is 3-6 Mafia. Okay. And it's like perfect because the song is called I Thought You Knew. So, Dice Ranch Designs. We definitely need more band histories with plus minus. What's another big downfall? Aerosmith is a pretty big. Aerosmith's a big one. Like if you go early Aerosmith, the 80s Aerosmith. Wow. Like, dude looks like a lady. Jaded. I guess Jaded's not that bad. What else was like late 80s Aerosmith? It's just, I don't want to miss a thing or like, like I'm totally fine with that subject material, but to do it in a like adult contemporary, like soft mix, like the 102.1, the soft mix playing like, it's like, dude, you guys had Back in the Saddle, which is just like, that's probably, I mean, you got Sweet Emotion, Kings and Queens. I mean, what are we doing, folks? What are we doing? Revolutions. Can we get a 3-6 Mafia breakdown video? I think I've used 3-6 in, I think I used Playa Haters. I should probably say Player Haters. No, I'm probably not at that level yet. Player Haters off of their debut album, which is just like songs from the underground, I believe. Volume, whatever. Where to Bud At is probably their best song. That's like All or Infamous. Not to be confused with Where Is the Bud, because I believe there's a song called Where Is the Bud that's really bad. There were some of their early songs that you can hear the like stay flat, like you can hear that kind of like once in a while. But Where to Bud At is like such a great bass line. And then you've got these trumpets in the intro, it's 140 BPM. It's almost like a reggae tempo. Well, it is a reggae tempo. And the first verse that Lord Infamous does on that is like one of maybe my favorite hip hop verses of all time. I will not, oh God, what's happening? Oh, it's a commercial. What's going on with the bar? For the well-being of people watching, I will not attempt to do the first verse rapping, but just trust me. There's a reference about Panama. There's a reference about Korea. Reference about chainsaws and killing people with them. It's very good. And yeah, a lot of their early stuff is about like Satan, smoking weed, horror movies, a lot of horror movie samples. It's very dark. It's like minimal. It's grainy. It's Lord Infamous. Like, I hate to make this comparison because it's not that accurate, but if you know completely nothing about him, almost imagine like an Eazy-E like kind of voice, but with the triplet flow. Like, he started the triplet flow. It's a very like debated, talked about. There's a really good YouTube video called Memphis. It's like an Australian guy. It's a Memphis rap documentary about like where the triplet flow that everybody does nowadays is like Gucci Mane talking about like the music that he would listen to when he was like selling drugs early on was like the early Memphis rap, like early 3-6. And then 3-6 was kind of like Wu-Tang, and they had like 9 members. And so they all have like solo, yeah. And Gangsta Boo's probably one of the more famous ones. She R.I.P. She just passed away last year. She has the first verse, and I Thought You Knew. If you look up I Thought You Knew. But yeah, they had like 9 people in it, and then I think because like same with Wu-Tang, they all went off and made their own like solo stuff. probably Liquid Swords. I mean, that's probably a hacky answer. Probably my favorite solo stuff. But I think Koop's solo stuff was probably the best out of the... And Lord Infamous, obviously. Lord Infamous Scarecrow Melody is kind of like his magnum opus. It's very like grainy and lo-fi, but it's like 5 or 6 minutes, and he just plays with so many different cadences, and you just don't know where the track is going. It's just like, it doesn't follow any convention. There's just weird violins that come in at weird times. But it's not messy. Like, it works. Like, it's not completely just, oh, I'm gonna be really abstract and experiment. It's like, no, it just somehow works that you're able to juggle all these different cadences and timings. And yeah, it's a beast of a track. It's like going to listen to old Metallica. It's just like, damn. But we're at the bar. These guys it's a Metallica cover band tonight, so everybody's having fun. I guess it's halftime in the no, it's not. We're over halftime. Done halftime. That was the post-game show. Yeah, Raptors win 130, 122. I think there's like 5 games left in the year. And the next game is the Toronto Raptors play the New Jersey Nets. Shouts to the New Jersey Nets, man. I think at the time I didn't love their logo and like jerseys and branding. Some of the jerseys are ass, like they always will be. Like the gray ones are really bad. But something about the logo nowadays, Tracy McGrady at the free throw line. Tracy McGrady shooting to the free throw line, licking his lips at the opportunity. Tracy McGrady. First of 2 from the free throw line. Tracy McGrady. Taking his time at the free throw line, folks. Swishes it. Tracy McGrady. The New Jersey Nets logo and some of the old merch. Like if you go on eBay and look at like New Jersey Nets merch, like there's some great stuff there. It sucks they left New Jersey.
What are you, fucking stupid? When you go to fucking New York, we got fucking Jersey over here. What the fuck? What are you, fucking stupid? We got a great team. We got a great group of guys over here. What the fuck is going on? I'm losing my fucking mind over here with the Nets. What the fuck? What are you, fucking stupid?
Christopher, look, town. Brooklyn's a big city. My Christopher Moltisanti always turns into Larry David. Look, town. It's a big... I can't really... I suck at it, but... Imagine, like... I think Tony would have been good in Lord of the Rings. Like, he wouldn't have put up with any guff. Like, any of the orcs or anything. He just...
What are you, fucking orc? What the fuck? What the fuck is with this? What the fuck happened to his eye? What the...
He would just be angry at, like, the horses not moving fast enough. Like, the Sam's cooking not being up to par.
Can we get some fucking veal? We get some fucking veal over here. What the fuck? Sound-wise, what the fuck?
Mike LaGrange.
It's like, well, actually, the veal is quite good. We got Gollum over there. He's eating a bunch of raw fish. Having a little powwow over there with Faramir. So, we're doing pretty good here, Tony, with our little hot pot. Maybe a little bit of gratitude would go a long way in these hard times here in Middle Earth.
And then Sean Connery / Gimli's like, take the ring through Moria. I have brothers in Moria, and we will take the ring through the gates of Moria.
Oh, but Frodo.
I can't really do Pippin.
Frodo, what about the Shire, Frodo? What about our friends and our family at the Shire?
Oi, I reckon the Shire was fucked. Oi, Mr. Frodo, do you remember the smell of strawberries, Mr. Frodo? Mr. Frodo. I always imagine Gandalf is Gandalf and Austin Powers.
Frodo. Frodo, I would like to cross over.
Just goes back to Sean Connery / Gimli.
I'd like to cross over into Moria. Beat the Balrog. Beat him back into the earth. Son of the earth. Send him back. Send him back.
Brooklyn is a back-to-back. Pacers on Tuesday. Okay. Email somebody at hotmail.com apparently. Nope, don't do that anymore. Raptors going for a dunk. Let's watch this game a little bit. I bet this is a good game here. Who we got here? Vince Carter. I don't know who this guy is. He looks what do you think his hit count is in his life? Fox. We got Fox Sports here. This guy's fucking jacked. Doug Christie. Current, I think he's on Sacramento Kings. Doug Christie, there he is. He would one day play for the Sacramento Kings, but he used to be on the Raptors, rocking the number 13. Doug Christie going left, shooting right. We got Lamar Odom in this game. Doug Christie with the mid-range, folks. Doug Christie, good defender. We got the Raptors dinosaur. I couldn't tell if that was like a prayer thing or he was just sweating. Okay, but somebody who's at the free throw line? Is that Hakeem? No, it's 42. Who was 42 again? Trash clips. What? Yeah. Somebody, I can't remember. Really jack guy, number 42. If I go back, I can see somebody. Kevin Willis. Okay, we got Kevin Willis. We got Doug Christie, Lamar Odom, and Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs got the ball. He's on the wing. He's going to pass it to Gimli, who's at the post. He's going to go to Lamar Odom. 2 shots for... Oh, we got Chris Oakley in the game here. Raptor / Nick legend, Chris Oakley. We got this guy in the game. I don't know what team he's on, but he's playing in this game. He's got the, I guess, probably the Clipper jacket on, I guess. Is that Pooh Richardson? Great name, by the way. Or Michael Olowokandi. A lot of great names on the Clippers back then. Shouts to Michael Olowokandi. You see that name and you draft him. You don't really have to ask any questions. We got Maurice Taylor, 7 for 9 tonight. Okay, he's got the efficient hand. 7 for 9 with inflation is like 17 for 19. By the way, today's NBA. Who's that? Who is that? Who the hell is that? I don't know who that is. I feel like I should know who that is. But I don't know who that is. I also don't know who that is. That's Doug Christie. So also in this era have had worse high fidelity than like the 70s for some reason, the 2000s. Oh, Michael Olowokandi with the dunk. Fed from Pooh Richardson and Chris Paul, Steve Jobs, Vince Carter in the game. Doug Christie. Oh, Doug Christie gets stripped by Michael Olowokandi. I mean, Anderson. Butch Carter, I believe. Butch Carter? Yeah, Butch Carter. It's a cool name, Butch. So we got Vince here facilitating. Oh, going to take a mid-range. That's not really in the game anymore in the NBA, but it looks nice. It's kind of the cool thing about going back to this. You can just see guys just take a couple dribbles, take 2 steps in from the three-point line, just hit a shot, and it's all gravy. Ooh, nope, 3. Oh, hesitate. He's not making that. Okay, never mind. Michael Olowokandi from 3. I mean, Besby. She likes it. She's clapping. Is this the best Clipper game of all time? It could be. Glenn Grunwald surrounding Carter with Fett, says Revolutions. I don't know why I read that as Glenn Greenwald is surrounding them with Fets. He's infiltrating some government or whatever and being generally annoying. Vince Carter at the free throw line misses the free throw. And then we got Doug Christie's, and it's okay. We still love you. Vince is like, yeah, I got it, buddy. I will be attending the University of North Carolina graduation at some point, but until then, Everything's good. Butch is not happy. This other guy who I don't know is not happy. Scott Foster is doing something here with Steve Jobs, making some kind of deal. Vince Carter hits the second free throw. So we got 69-73. We got a tight game here, third quarter. Raptors down by 4. I don't know why that took me a second. 57 seconds left. I like the old shot clock, by the way, because you can see the decimal here. I like this, just the constant. And you got this one coming down here too. Or that's the game clock. It's even better. 40 seconds left in the quarter. Vince Carter gets stripped by Nesby. Vince Carter's nodding at him like, yep. My bad. Nesby's like, I'll do that again, buddy. I'll fucking do that again. Doug Christie's got the ball at the top. Michael Candy on him. Passes over to Oakley for the 3. Not even close. Transition. Easy bucket for Lamar Odom. This is before the Lakers, which was a interesting era of his life. This is early Lamar Odom. Is this his rookie year? Online trading, says the sign in the back. That's a great font. That's like your calculator font. Online trading, a new concept in 1998. Sign up now and receive a toaster of your choice. Is that Sean Marion? Because Sean Marion had a Raptors stint and number 30 and had a weird shot. That wasn't Sean Marion, was it? When was Sean Marion on the Raptors? Was it when he was younger or way older? Sean Marion, trash clips. When was Sean Marion? Okay, LA. Is that Larry Bird? Is that like new Larry? new Larry? Who's this guy? I don't like his vibe. Where's Chris Kaman on this team yet? He was a caricature. Whoa, that almost went. That was closer than Vince's free throw from Nesby. Wow. Okay, tight game here. Clippers. That was their best logo, by the way. I know they just rebranded it into like a Best Western or something, but that was their best logo, I think, the one they just showed this era. Probably both of their best logos, if we're being, in my opinion. Oh, wait, is that Kareem? No. Why would that? Am I tripping out? I'm really baked. That looked like Kareem. Was he involved with? Why would he be? I'm like, okay, this is tripping me out now. That had to be him. Did he work with the Clippers at any point? He was a Clippers assistant. What? Hold the fucking phone. He was the Clippers assistant in 2000. Who the fuck knew that? Did anybody know that, by the way? Anybody in the chat? Did anybody in the chat know that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was an assistant coach of the Los Angeles Clippers for a single year in 2000? Interesting. Also an Airplane. He's good in that movie too. It wasn't just like a dumb cameo. Hook shot. Robin Lopez style hook shot from Michael, or a guy named Taylor. I thought it was Michael Candy. I guess this is 2000. I thought this was 98 for some reason. This is 2000. Data Tech. Yeah, this is the new Millennium jerseys. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the assistant coach for the 2000 Los Angeles Clippers with Lamar Odom. Okay. I mean, okay. That just seems like something out of an acid trip or something. But all right, that is actually a thing. Okay, 3-pointer. Rebounded by Larry Bird over to Michael Candy. Give it into Gimli. There you go. Bank shot. LA taking going a little bit of a run here. 79-72. Kareem's happy, I guess. Trash clip. Sean Marion played for the Raptors at age 30 during the 2008 season. Okay. I just can't picture Kareem as an assistant coach on the Clippers. I just like that just doesn't sound It's like if somebody told me like I just made like a peanut butter and salmon sandwich or something. It's like, why wouldn't he be like involved with the Lakers? And why is he an assistant? Like, shouldn't he be like the guy of a team that stinks? This like that has this bad of a. You have like one of the greatest of all time, and the worst team of all time, and he's not even the guy. It's some weird mustache guy that I've never seen before. What do we do? Is that Muggsy Bogues? Oh, this is a great team. Oh hell yeah! Has he been in like? I haven't noticed him up until this point. Is that who took that? Is that Oakley? No. Del Curry maybe? I don't know. 72-81. But yeah, the Raptors win. So I don't know if I can watch. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can make it. We hit an hour, which is my legal legal obligation. Oh, I got Antonio McDice in the game. Big unit, Antonio McDice. Butch Carter. Yeah, okay. Yeah.